So today we're going to discuss chemical bonding, which is in conjunction with our new topic and our previous topic. So previously we discussed the different kinds of bonding, ionic bond and covalent bond, and then we have discussed also how molecular geometry and shape is determined by identifying the number of things around the central atom. Okay, so we have to remember that there are what we call the laws or mga batas. These are different from theories, as theories are not yet proven. They are only theory, but laws or a law is already proven, and most of the time, if not always, they are represented by a formula. Okay? Meaning there is an equation that you have to use to solve a certain problem, whether it's in chemistry or in biology or other sciences, including chemistry, of course. The first law that I will have to discuss is the law of conservation of mass. The law of conservation of mass is stated as there should be no detectable change in the total mass during a chemical reaction. So we have to understand this before we study chemical reaction. Okay. If the total mass involved in a chemical reaction is precisely measured before and after the reaction, there will be no difference. This was discovered by Antoine Lavoisier in 1774. So think about the law of conservation of mass through this illustration. So if a candle is burned in an airtight container of oxygen, there is no detectable change in the mass, because whatever it is inside the bulb will stay inside the bulb. And so whether there is a chemical reaction happening, there is a burning, there is melting, as we can see in the illustration, we cannot detect a change in mass. So let us look at this example. The complete burning in oxygen of 4.09 grams of carbon produces 15 grams of carbon dioxide. How many grams of oxygen reacted? So, pag tinignan natin yung law of conservation of mass, simple subtraction. If we subtract 4.09 from 15 grams, we should get the number 10.91 grams of oxygen. Kasi kapag inad mo yung oxygen na nag-burn, which is 4.9 grams, at saka yung rather the carbon, which is 4.9 grams, and you add it to the oxygen or the grams of oxygen here, which is 10.91 grams. Pag inad natin to, ang makukuha natin ay 15 grams of carbon dioxide. Paano natin siya visualize? So, let us look this as we react an oxygen, okay, and then another atom, which is a carbon, and then we arrive at carbon dioxide, which is, according to the problem, is 15 grams. Tapos sabi, ang carbon dioxide daw na nireact natin ay 4.09. So, ang tinatanong kasi dito, gaano karami yung oxygen. So, sa law of conservation of mass, pag pinag-combine mo itong dalawa na to, dapat ang total niya is 15 grams. Okay? So, simple arithmetic, minus lang natin itong 4.09 sa 15 grams, makukuha natin ay 10.91. Okay? So, yun yung reaction niya. But this reaction is very, it's not actually correct yet. Parang tinitingnan kasi natin dito, yung idea of the law of conservation of mass. So, mamaya ma-identify natin na hindi laging ganito because we have to consider other chemical aspects or chemical equation aspects such as stoichiometry and others. Okay, so parang gano'n. Ito yung tinatawag na law of conservation of mass. Okay. So, we will be introduced with a concept called formula mass. So, ano yung formula mass? Ito yung kung gaano kabigat ang isang molecules. Dati, nakikita natin sa symbols, chemical, or rather sa periodic table, we have a symbol, and then we have the number of protons or atomic number at the top, and then the atomic mass at the bottom. Okay? So, yung atomic mass na nandito, it can be rather translated into grams. Okay? So, mamaya maintindihan natin bakit pwede siyang gamitin or pwede siyang i-express as grams. Kasi pag compute tayo ng formula mass, ma-realize natin na we will actually be using grams. Okay? So, formula mass of a compound or a molecule, so we're talking now of a molecule. Hindi na tayo basta isang klaseng atom or element lang. So, the formula mass is the mass of the compound or the sum of the compound of the atomic masses given its formula. So, ito yung atomic masses. Ano yung formula mass? Sabi natin dito, ang formula mass ay, we're talking about molecules and compounds already. So, ang may example tayo dito ay CH4. Okay, this one. So, CH4, pag nakita natin, ilan yung carbon niya? Isa. So, we have 1 carbon. So, yung carbon, ang kanyang atomic mass ay 12. So, ano na lang yung hinahanapin natin? Kailangan natin makuha ang atomic mass ng hydrogen. Ang hydrogen ay merong 1 na unit. Dito yung nakalagay dito. Or pwede nga kasing grams ang gamitin. Okay? Pero, nakita natin na yung hydrogen ay 4. Nakalagay dito, H4, CH4. Ibig sabihin, merong isang carbon na merong 12 na atomic mass. So, 12 lang siya. Yeah. So, the atomic mass of hydrogen is 1. And then we have 4. So, we multiply it by 4. So, this will give us 4. So, if we add 12 and 4, we will get 16. So, ibig sabihin, CH4 has a formula mass of 16. Okay? So, 16 times 4, that's 64. So, ito ngayon i-add natin. To 7.2 plus 52.0 plus 64, we will have, ito ay 64. We will have a total of 323.2. That is the formula mass of this compound, lead chromate. Okay, so madali lang naman siya. You just have to remember if there is a subscript after the symbol or the atomic symbol, okay, or the element. So, yun yung kasama rin sa law of conservation of mass. So, kung ilan yung atom or element na nandun sa formula mass, kailangan mo siyang i-consider. So, kung may 4 na oxygen siya, yung kanyang atomic mass na 16, multiply mo sa 4 kasi 4 yung oxygen doon. Okay? Kung isa lang yung oxygen doon na nakalagay sa ating compound, edi isa lang yung isasama natin. Okay? So the next law that we have to remember, consider in a chemical reaction is the law of definite proportions. Ang sabi ng law of definite proportion, different samples of a pure compounds always contain the same elements in the same proportion of mass. So for example, we have water, H2O. So pag tinignan natin yung formula mass ng H2O, we have oxygen, which is equivalent to 16, and then hydrogen, which is equivalent to 1, pero H2O siya, meron siyang dalawang hydrogen, so times 2. So we will have 18 units. Para pag tingnan natin yung proportion niya, yung proportion ng oxygen sa hydrogen, if we will try to divide this is 16 over 2. This will give us, for every one hydrogen, there will be 8 atoms of oxygen. Or for every one part of hydrogen, there is 8 part of oxygen. So, kahit anong gawin natin, if for example, we have 9 grams of water, that will give us 8 grams of oxygen and 1 grams of hydrogen. Pag ginawa naman natin 18, okay, 16 grams oxygen, 2 grams yung hydrogen. So, ito yun. Pag ginawa naman natin 36, we will have 32 grams of oxygen and 4 grams of hydrogen. So, that means, in every case, we will always have the proportion of, or the ratio of 8:1. So, yun yung sinasabi ng law of definite proportion. Okay, next naman natin, para natin kakalculate yung percentage by mass of an element. Halimbawa, meron tayong compound dito na, for example, yung kanina, yung lead chromate. Yan, PbCrO4. Gusto nating malaman ilang percent ang chromium dito sa formula na ito, sa compound na ito. Okay? So, sabi dito, kung gusto nating malaman yung percentage ng isang element doon sa compound na to, ang gagamitin natin ay itong formula na ito. Okay? Percent X by mass, which X is the element that we want to know of the percentage by mass, is equal to the mass of the component X, sabihin ano yung kanyang atomic mass, and then divided by the formula mass of the compound times 100. So, importante na alam natin kumuha ng formula mass. Kasi gagamitin natin siya sa pagkuha ng percentage by mass of an element. So, let's try the example here. Shown here, we have napakadali na water. For example, water. Okay? Alam natin na ang water ay ang kanyang formula mass ay 18. Saan galing yon? 16 oxygen plus hydrogen na 1 times 2. So, nakuha natin ay 18. At alam din natin na ang oxygen ay mayroong atomic mass na 16. So, ang gawin natin, katulad ng ginawa natin dito ay 16, ito yung atomic mass ng oxygen, divide natin sa formula mass ng water, which is 18 times 100%. So, we will get the answer, 88.9%. So, paano natin naman makuha yung percentage ng hydrogen? Pwede natin ulitin yun, or kunin na lang natin yung difference ng ito. So, you subtract 100 minus 88.9. So, that will give us the percentage of hydrogen by mass. Okay? So, let's have another example. We have carbon dioxide. Okay? Again, ang ating gagamitin na formula ay ito. Percent X by mass, which is percent of the element by mass, is equal to the mass of the element divided by the formula mass of the compound. Okay? So, let's try this one. Sud lang natin yung konti. Ang sabi natin ay carbon dioxide. Okay. Parang hindi natin nakikita yung sagot. Okay, carbon dioxide. So, una natin munang gawin, hanapin natin yung formula mass for carbon dioxide. So, pwede tayong gumamit ng ating periodic table para makita natin ang atomic mass ng bawat element. So, sa ating periodic table, ang carbon ay merong 12 na atomic mass. Ang oxygen ay may 16. Pero dalawa yung oxygen natin, so times 2 natin, ang carbon natin ay isa lang. So we have 12. 16 times 2 is 32. Therefore, that will give us a formula mass of 44. So we have 44 U of carbon dioxide. Ang gusto nating malaman, percentage mass of carbon. So percentage mass of carbon is equal to the atomic mass of carbon, which is 12. So 12 U divided by the formula mass, which is 44. Formula mass ng carbon dioxide ay 44. U times 100. That will give us the percent by mass or percentage by mass of carbon in carbon dioxide. So, let us do the calculation. We have 12 divided by 44 times 100. The answer is 27.3%. Round off na lang natin yung ating nakuha, which is 27.27%. So, paano naman kung ang gusto natin kuhanin ay percentage by mass ng oxygen? So, ganun pa rin, kailangan natin kuhanin yung mass ng ating component, which is oxygen, and divide it by the formula mass, which is 44. Kaya lang be careful na ang gamitin natin ay yung mass ng component dun sa mismo compound at hindi yung atomic mass ng isang element or ng element. Kasi baka ang gamitin natin dito ay 16. So, tandaan natin na meron tayong dalawang oxygen dito. So, ang gagamitin natin dito ay 32. So, we have 32. Ay, ganito yung ating gagawin. So, we have 32 divided by 44 times 100. So, what we are going to get is, we will get 72.7. 72.7% oxygen. So, pag tinignan natin, if we subtract 72.7 from 100, we will get 27.27 or 27.3, which is the percentage by mass ng carbon. So, that is to show that the law of conservation of masses as well as the law of definite composition is observed in this in this concept. So let us try this example. Let us calculate the percentage by mass of aluminum oxide, commonly known as corundum in mineral form. So aluminum oxide, we have of course aluminum and oxygen. So what we're going to do first is to find the reference. Ano ba yung atomic mass ng aluminum at ano yung atomic mass ng oxygen? Kasi gagamitin natin yan para makuha yung mass ng component kung ano man yung gusto natin kuhanin. So we have aluminum the atomic mass of aluminum is 27, aluminum, 27.0. For oxygen, of course, we know that it is 16. Okay. So next is we have to get the formula mass of this. So the formula mass of aluminum oxide is aluminum is 27. Ilan siya? Dalawa times 2. This is equal to 54. Next, we get oxygen. Oxygen is 16 times 3. Dahil tatlo siya. 16 times 3 is equal to 48. Therefore, our formula mass for aluminum oxide is 102. Tandaan na natin to. 102 ang formula mass ng Al2O3. So, ito na, yung mga kailangan nating tandaan. Now, we're going to look for the percentage by mass of aluminum and oxygen. So, percentage by mass of aluminum is equal to mass of aluminum over formula mass of Al2O3. So, ganito din ang gawin natin sa oxygen. Formula mass, percentage by mass oxygen is equal to mass of oxygen divided by formula mass of Al2O3. At huwag natin kalimutang lagyan ng times 100 ang bawat isa. Kasi we're looking for percentage. So I'll give you 5 minutes to answer this exercise.
Denied.
Run.
Bruh.
I can fly.
Game over.
So time's up. Let us answer the percentage by mass of aluminum and aluminum oxide. Okay, so first let's have the total mass of aluminum, which is 54. Bakit 54? Kasi dalawa yung aluminum natin. 54.0. Okay, dalawa yung aluminum natin, 27 times 2. Okay, divided by the mass, the formula mass of aluminum oxide, which is 102.0. Then times 100 natin. So we will get percentage by mass of aluminum, which is 52.9%. Okay. For the percentage aluminum, or rather percentage oxygen, we will use the mass of 3 times 16. So we will have a total of 48.0. That's the total mass of oxygen divided by 102.0 formula mass ng aluminum oxide times 100. So doing the math, we will get percentage mass of oxygen is 47.1%. Para ma-check, if you add this one, you will get 100%. O diba parang criteria for judging lang. For a total of 100%. Okay, more thing to remember regarding definite proportions or the law of definite proportions is that when a compound is broken down, its elements are found in a definite proportion by mass. So, nakita natin kapag kanina kapag kinuha natin yung percentage by mass na isang component ng compound, kapag sinubtract natin yung nakukuha nating percentage by from 100, makukuha natin yung percentage by mass nung remaining component ng compound. Kasi nga, yun yung kanyang definite proportion. When the same compound is formed as well, the elements will combine in the same proportion by mass. So, laging ganun yung kanyang magiging proportion. So, nakita natin kanina yung water, ang proportion niya ay 8:1. 8 oxygen is to 1 hydrogen. So, parang ganun. So, another way to look is, or to ask is, what if merong sobra? What will happen? So, dito na papasok yung idea ng limiting and excess reactants. Okay? If constituent elements are not mixed in the correct proportion, ang mangyayari ganito. One of the elements will be used completely and is called the limiting reactant. Next is, one of the elements will only partially be used kasi nga sobra siya, kaya ang itatawag natin sa kanya ay excess reactant. So, tingnan natin itong example na to. So, dito nakalagay, meron tayong 10 grams ng copper. At ang 10 grams ng copper ay magre-react sa 5.06 grams ng sulfur para bigyan tayo ng copper sulfide na ang measurement ay 5.06 grams. So, pag tinignan natin, yung total niya ay 550.06. Kasi inad natin yung 10 grams ng copper at saka 5.06 grams ng sulfur. So, ang total niya ay 15.06. So, ganun lang lagi siya mangyayari. Ganun to yung kanyang proportion. Kapag halimbawa nagsobra tayo ng sulfur, halimbawa for this example, instead na 5.06 grams yung i-react natin sa 10 grams ng copper, meron tayong 7.06 gram. Maiiba ba yung mapoproduce natin copper sulfide? Hindi. Same pa rin. 15.06. Ang mangyayari lang, yung hindi magagamit, ay magiging excess siya. So, nakita natin dito, meron siya excess na 2 grams. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, dito sa reaction na to, sino yung limiting reagent? Sino yung excess reagent? Ang limiting reagent natin dito ay si copper. At ang excess reagent natin ay si sulfur. So, pagbaliktad naman, halimbawa, dinoble natin yung amount ni copper. Okay? Kaya alam natin na yung 5.06 grams ng sulfur, magre-react lang siya sa 10.0 copper or 10.0 grams ng copper. So, anong mangyayari? Si copper yung magiging excess. Makakabuo pa rin tayo ng 15.06 copper sulfide. Pero ang sosobra naman, ang mauubos dito, si sulfide, ito mauubos siya, sosobra siya ng 10 grams ng copper. Kasi ang proportion niya is 10.0 copper is to 5.06 sulfur. So that is also the law of definite proportion. Same as the law of conservation of mass, nasa-satisfy din niya yun. Kasi nga, di ba, kung ano yung ni-react mo dito, same din yung amount na makukuha natin dito. So, tingnan natin, ito ay 10 plus 5.06, nakuha natin ay 5.06. Ito ay 10 plus 7, dapat maging 17.06 siya. Check natin kung 17.06 yung nakuha natin. Ayan, 10.06. So, 15.06 plus 2.00 grams ng sulfur, nakuha natin ay equivalent siya dito. Paraw silang 17.06. How about this sa ating huling example? Paraw ba sila ng mass? This is, so if you add this is 15.06 grams plus 10.00 grams, ang nakuha natin ay 25.06. Pinanga natin. 25.06. Dapat 25.06 yung pinanggalingan niya. So, check natin. 20 plus 5.06. So, we have 25.062. So, conservation of mass. Law of conservation of mass. So, lagi natin tatandaan. So, that's it for today. We will continue our discussion about chemical reaction. Ano ba yung iba't ibang chemical reaction? At paano ba natin mapipredict kung magpuproceed ang isang reaction o hindi? At paano natin babalansehin ang isang chemical reaction using stoichiometry. So medyo madadagdagan ulit yung ating mga kailangang matandaang mga technique sa pag-intindi o pag-unawa sa ating lesson ngayon. Pero unti-unti ay maintindihan naman natin at matututunan natin. Basta lagi lang natin ipapractice yung ating mga drills na ginagawa or mga exercises. So that's it for today. Goodbye, class.